Rugby Championship round number 2, folks. Game 1 of the round. Box taking on the Wallabies from Cape Town. And it's another competitive one. Both sides led at times during this one. But ultimately, it's the Box who get the win. 8 points. Denies the Wallabies a shot at a losing bonus point. But man, the Wallabies were right in this one to the death. Certainly a switch in the strategy from the Box for this one. Handré Pollard back in the team, 100% from the tee, which is definitely one of the big difference makers in this game. And a lot of boots of ball. And it wasn't just Pollard with the boot, it was Grant Williams, it was Cheslin Colby, Apalele Fassi, and just chasing kicks. Bigger work from them at the breakdown, you feel. And yeah, enough to get the job done by 8 points. We'll go through the results, some of the key stats and key events and whatnot, and you guys can let us know your thoughts. Good crowd, obviously, in Cape Town. The weather seemed all right on the TV, but by all accounts, there had been a fair bit of rain prior to kickoff, and that was evident in some of the handling and perhaps led to, some of the kicking. And to be fair, man, the Wallabies, despite the fact that they went down a couple of penalties early, and it was intent from the kick chase from the Box, which won the first one, and a scrum, which got the second one, which was, from a South African point of view, very encouraging because, key areas they would have been looking to improve on from last week. More so concerning than the points, I feel like, for the Wallabies was the fact that Tom Wright went off like 3 minutes. He was one of their main attacking weapons, especially on the kick return last week. And then Nick White goes off on about 12. And in a game where the ball is a bit greasy and you want a halfback with a good kicking game, he would have been a really nice guy to have play 60, 65 plus minutes. They lost Suoliti at halftime as well. So it was certainly a really rejigged Wallabies side, which when you're away in South Africa is definitely not ideal. But they did get the first try of the game. That man, Corey Toole, we mentioned it in the preview, the dude is quick. And he showed some of his pace, quick thinking from the Wallabies. Nick White was still on the field at the time for that one. And clearly they had the plan that if we get a chance to get a free kick and put this guy into some space, let him chase the ball. And why not? It's a free kick at scrum time. Nick White with the wee grubber kick through. Cool. Toole chases it. Cool Toole? Yeah, Toole. He chases it and catches the Springboks maybe a little bit napping, but 7 points to 0 with the conversion. The Wallabies go in front, although the Boks were able to get pretty much an immediate reply. It was a real kind of tit-for-tat game at times. Again, it's turnover ball from the kick chase, which was such a kind of statement of intent from them. Like, we're going to kick the ball, and our forwards are just going to monster you at the breakdown if they can. Thomas Dutoy, I think it was going close for the forwards, and then they cross-kicked it, Handré Pollard to Kane Moody. That bit of height from him is always going to be useful in that kind of contest. 13 points to 7. The Box in front. This is where we lose Nick White. He'd kind of been ragdolled and flung around in the build-up to that try and ended up going off for an HIA and not returning, which, as I said, was unfortunate for the Wallabies. They almost had a try again immediately in reply through Fraser McRae, but there was a knock-on and the tackle by Callaway, who was chasing down Handré Pollard. Otherwise, it really would have been just like literally bam, 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 tries galore. But that's, I guess, one of the dangers of that kicking game that the Boks were employing, because they were putting so much ball down the Aussie wingers' throats. That one had kind of started from a kick to Jorgensen, so it almost kind of paid off for the Wallabies. The Aussies didn't opt for threes on 16 minutes. Very kickable three. They go for touch after Van Staden was pinged at the breakdown, but then I think it was Van Staden that won the turnover for the Boks to get them out of dodge. And then again on 22 minutes, not opting for three, again turned over. I think it was Thomas Dutoy. So if there is one area that the Boks, I think we'll be pretty pleased with, it's the fact that they were able to get a lot more pay at the breakdown last week. Like Fraser McRae didn't get any turnovers this week, and he was, kind of dominating that area last week. Both sides, I think, a few too many errors. I mean, again, it's partly the greasy conditions, lineouts going awry, penalties conceded, like Hooper with a high tackle on Colby, and Van Staden a cleaner off the ball. Just kind of soft stuff, manageable stuff, but yeah, neither side kind of operating at 100% efficiency there. And yeah, a lot of ball still going down the wing of Corey Toole. The Boks just kept on with that plan. Like, let's just kick down this guy's wing. He's on his test debut. And yeah, try to use Moody's height against them. At times it looked sharp, but at times, yeah, they weren't getting as much pay for it as they would have liked. Quokka Smith did get the second one for the Boks on 35. Again, it was from an attacking line out, and again, it's the kicking game that gets them down the right end of the field, the Boks. Was it Pollard's kick? Tupou ends up having to kind of run the thing into touch as they are kind of having to track back the Wallabies guys. So from that bit of territory, it is the Boks who get the try. Attacking line out, the forwards go to work, and yeah, close range try, 20 points to 7. Starting to look a little bit like last week in terms of the lead they are building, but the Wallabies were able to at least get the final points of the half for them when Quokka Smith got pinged at the breakdown not too long later. A 40-metre shot, which James O'Connor is able to nail, so it's a 10-point lead at halftime. So a little bit different from last week, but the run meters are 167 to 104, a wee bit low, but I think one thing you'd like if you're a Boks fan is the amount of go forward you're getting on the carry, 3.6 meters a carry compared to the Wallabies 2. The Wallabies had a lot of carries, sometimes going nowhere. It was a little bit reminiscent of some of those Lions games. Clean breaks is 3-2 to the Boks, but missed tackles 15-8. Also, the Boks having the higher of that number. It was a theme of last week, and it continued throughout this game a wee bit. Kicks from hand, though, 20-11. This is that kicking game in action. As like I said, it's not Pollard on his own. It's Williams, it's Pollard, it's Colby, it's Fussy. All these guys putting the dinking kicks through. Keeping the Wallabies guys, I don't want to say at 6s and 7s, because sometimes they were handling it pretty well, but at least making that contest in the air with Moody, with Colby in particular, a real kind of battleground, and then the Bok forwards trying to flood that breakdown, which, you know, did get them, you know, pretty good pay in the first half. Second half, though, you got Tane Edmed, who has to come on for Suali'i. And remember, at this stage of the game, he is the 5th choice Wallabies number 10 behind Lolosio and Liner and Donaldson and James O'Connor. And they kind of have to mix him around. Like, he's kind of playing at 12. At times, he's at first receiver. It's a really mixed Wallabies backline. So they are doing this very, very much rejigged, as I said, with their 5th choice 10, who's in his second test match, having played about 3 minutes of test rugby before he got KO'd against, I think it was Ireland last year. So far from ideal, and his first action of the game is to kick the restart out on the full, which is, again, not really ideal, but it was the Aussies who scored the first try of the second half. That man, Jorgensen, he is on a bit of a try-scoring run. He's having a very, very good start to his 2025 campaign, which is, I don't know, encouraging for the Wallabies. He was good against the Lions as well. It was their turn to get the kick game going, and it's that man, James O'Connor. His kicking from the tee might go awry a little bit in the second half, but from an attacking scrum move, he just puts the ball into the backfield, and Kane and Moody, man. Sometimes the bounce of the rugby ball can be a tricky thing. He just can't handle it, and Jorgensen pounces. So it's a Springbok mistake, but it's led to by a bit of, you know, good initiative on the kick game. It's what the Boks had been doing to the Wallabies before. Wallabies did it back to them and get some pay from it. So 20 points to 17. Really massive back to game on. And to be fair, Moody's hands, they kind of let him down a bit in the second half. He ends up getting subbed when they bring on Feinberg and Gomazulu. And it is one of those ones where the Boks coaching staff, I feel like, is not afraid at times to just go, that guy needs to be subbed. Just pull him. They do it in the first half to sometimes to players. I doubt that Moody was the guy planned to be subbed by Sasha, but yeah, that's the trigger they pulled, and yeah, that's sometimes the heavy crown of the head coach is the one that has to make those tough calls. The ball is slippery, man. It's not just Moody that's making handling errors. It is both of them. 56 minutes, there's an offside penalty against Leniki, which Pollard slots to make it 23-17 to extend the lead a bit. Corey Toole goes bloody close to having a second test try from a line break. Again, it's his real pace and then chasing a kick through, but his kick through from his big line break can't quite find the space I think he would have liked. Pollard's able to kind of sweep back on that one, and the Wallabies end up knocking it on. Then Eben Etzebeth, who's come on real high energy, he concedes a penalty for being offside, and the Aussies do what's been done a couple of times to South Africa this 2025 season, as they maul them. The Aussies, again, not opting for threes, they opt for touch, maul time, and Brandon Paenga-Amosa is able to burrow over, just barely. It only just hit the whitewash, but maul try against South Africa, I think that's their third one this year, which, as I said, is not a usual area that teams can go to against South Africa, but they get that done. But the misconversion means they're still behind. 23-22, the Wallabies. Then there's a key error, and it sucks to single out one guy. As much as it was Moody for the Jorgensen try, it's Callaway. It's Callaway for the Etzebeth try. It's a knock-on in his own 22. It's again from South African kick pressure. James O'Connor has to sweep back. He's under all kinds of pressure. Shovels it wide to Callaway. The pass is dipping on him, but he probably still should be catching that and then kicking clear. But he knocks it on. It's a scrum. The South Africans get advantage. And from there, Eben Etzebeth, again, just over the line with the go-go gadget arms, as I think the commentator said. Showing his age with that one. Old Inspector Gadget. But yeah, gets the ball over the line. I got the reference. 30 points to 22. That's pretty much game. Pretty much game. But James O'Connor did have a chance for another shot at goal on 77 minutes. Would have got them back within one score. Would have got them back within losing bonus point range from a high tackle from Sasha Feinberg and Ngomzulu, which the TMO spotted. He misses it, and then Fussy gets himself yellow carded for a deliberate knock-on the halfway line. James O'Connor has another shot. He misses that one as well. So, yeah, it's, 8 points missing from the tee from James O'Connor in that second half. That's the difference in the game. I mean, if he gets the first penalty, obviously the second penalty doesn't necessarily happen, but yeah, it's just kind of a brutal one to look at if you're Australian, but if you're a South African, you'd be loving that Andre Pollard 100% accuracy from the boot. Nick Champion de Krebney gave away a neck roll penalty at the death, which the box looked to punish, but again, it was just a little bit scrappy. Line-out was messy, and then Eben's wide pass to Jesse Krill ends up going in touch. So nothing really doing there, but yeah, good enough from the box. I don't think they'll be entirely convinced by that one. They certainly changed up the game plan. I mean, looking at the stats, it's exactly what we predicted. 35 kicks from hand. Massively different from last week. Offloads was 6 each. There was like 14 from the box last week, so they really reined it in. Clean breaks was 6-3 to the Wallabies, which is encouraging from them. Defenders beaten was 30-15 to the Wallabies. So they've still got a bit of attack in their game. The Bok attacking percentage is once again in the low 80s, which is a little bit of a concern. Wallabies were 88% in comparison. Knock-ons was 11-9 against the Boks, but I mean there were a few here. Yeah, it was just wet. Slippery ball was a bit elusive at times. Colby had 59 metres, beat 2 defenders. Toole had 48 metres and beat 7 defenders. That guy didn't look out of place in Test rugby, which is encouraging from him. Quagga Smith, 14 from 15 tackles, gets himself a try. Fraser McRae, 17 from 17, but maybe the key point is no turnovers won at the breakdown in that. So, yeah, despite the injuries, the Wallabies, I think, were pretty proud with how they got back within touching distance, but ultimately, yeah, the Boks, too good, and that man, Andre Pollard, is at times just the difference maker with how accurate he can be from the tee and those kicks from hand. But you guys let us know your thoughts. The Boks are off to New Zealand next. It's going to be a fascinating series, and then the Wallabies will be at home to the Pumas. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I'm off to bed to catch up on a bit of sleep. It is now 5:30 in the morning. Got a few hours between now and the All Blacks Pumas round 2 game. You guys take care, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Ta-ra.